Okay. Although everybody's already being quiet. It's Friday, September 26th. This is the 9:30 in the morning, regular meeting of Lorain County Board of Commissioners. Let's rise for the pledge to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One of these days, I'm going to run over you guys. That one comma is not supposed to be in there. It's one nation under God.
Oh, here we go. You want to do that? Okay.
Commissioner Riddell.
Here.
Commissioner Moore.
Here.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Here.
We have a quorum. Under resolutions, number 1, investments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 2, appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Do we want to talk about line number 1, Casey, or no? Will you?
Please.
Certainly. Yeah, so as we've seen in the past, like I said, the jail operations, they are supported by a sales tax revenue. Any shortfall from that sales tax revenue for the jail, that onus falls back on the general fund. So this is the general fund
Funding
essentially
the jail.
sending money to the jail to keep up jail operations.
Because the original sales tax that's for the jail isn't sufficient.
Isn't sufficient to cover the current operations. Correct.
Anything further? Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 3, transfers.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Number 4, advances, repayments. There were none. Number 5, requisitions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Can't remember when we ever had 1 page.
I know. I was almost like, uh-oh, somebody screwed up.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Number 6, travel.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Number 7, bills.
Okay, page 2 of 4. Page 3 of 4. And page 4 of 4.
Move to approve pages 1 through 4.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 8, do we have anything?
I don't know.
Nope.
Are we going in?
Nope.
B, public comment on agenda items.
Brian, you moved up. Does that mean that you're in both?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Brian Baker, 49822 Greystone Drive, Brownhelm Township. So I wanted like to talk about, Mr. Parsons came the other day. He gave you guys a presentation on the healthcare, and I didn't realize there was going to be there, so I didn't sign up to speak. So I'd like to, a couple points I looked at in there. And to give you a little bit of backgrounds on Mr. Parsons, when I was the business manager, IBW Local 129, he was actually our actuary for 10 years when I was there. So I have a relationship of working with him. Sometimes you put numbers on paper that, and they put clarifiers in there. So if you looked at page 2 of it, it said, this does not include your rebates. And if you look down, I think page 5 or 6, the rebates were like $3.1 million. So that $3.1 million was not included in the numbers that he gave you, which I verified after the meeting that they weren't. So the numbers are a little bit different than what Mr. Parsons put up on the screen, because I don't think he has the actual number for the rebate, but you have 3.1 or some kind of money in there, more than what he reported out. So it makes it look worse than what you have. And I do understand, because we were a self-insured fund when I was at mine, there's a lot of different things you can ask them to do to lower your costs without raising it 13% or whatever you do. I mean, some of the things, and I talked to Commissioner Moore on Tuesday, the age experience is an issue. I mean, it doesn't matter, you're always gonna be there, but a couple questions I would have is, do you guys automatically at age 65, and Jeff, me and you've had this conversation a year ago, I'm like 669 days away from being on Medicare myself. So, but if you go on to Medicare, that becomes your primary insurer, and then the county becomes your secondary. Do you guys do an audit to make sure everybody goes on? Because that's an issue sometimes. People don't want to do it, but it is better. So I think that's a point. The one thing I would say is, and I don't know if you guys have any open collective bargaining agreements going right now, but if you do, I think this is a subject to mandatory bargaining if you're in the middle of negotiations. And I don't think you can implement it if you're in the middle of your bargaining. And I think you have 2 units right now that are Job and Family Services and Children's Services. I don't think you can implement that as a subject of mandatory bargaining. Maybe the public sector is a little bit different, but if it's a mandatory subject of bargaining, I think you may want to look into that. And I would ask, when will this be brought up again? At October, was it 10th? Could we get some of them answered before October 10th, these questions? Because I think it's very important. That $3.1 million is a lot of money. And if you look, he has a clarifier in there, so he did his job. But I think it's our due diligence to make sure that it's there. So thank you for your time this morning.
You guys can work on those questions that he might have? Okay, thank you.
Is that the only one?
Anything else for-
Okay. Is there any old business? No. Board business, number 9, repeal resolution 22-130 on February.
Oh, you know what? I want to bring up an old business.
Okay.
On Tuesday's meeting, we voted on a tax exemption status for the Wilkes Villa project. And, you know, I was doing some numbers, and I went behind the scenes and did some checking. And there's 174 units at $69 million cost to the taxpayers. I did some math, and that's coming out to $396,000 per apartment for this housing project. There's 159,000 square feet in this project. That's $432.88 a square foot to remodel an existing building. It's the one thing is that, you know, I come from a construction background, and I look at these numbers, and I've done projects that are scalable to this one, and I think that there's got to be some more due diligence before, you know, I voted on tax exempt status on it. Well, when you build housing, you know, a developer has all these fees, these pre-construction fees and all this. In this case, we don't have it. We're just remodeling. So in my preliminary looking at this, it's less than half to build brand new. So I would like to have a discussion with, there's 2 more of these projects coming up. I'd like to have discussions. This is a federal project, but this is taxpayer money, and I'm going to be a steward of it, and I'm going to be paying attention to it. I would like to, before this comes to a vote in front of this board for tax exemption, I would like to have a discussion as to why these fees are at the cost of a luxury house. $433,000 square for one of these units, or I'm sorry, $433 per square foot is extensively high in the building trade business. So I just wanted to bring that up so that people are aware. I do want to talk to them, and hopefully we can sit at the table and find out why these expenses are that high.
No, I agree. I think the fact that this board was questioning them, they thought this was going to be a simple yes or no. The fact that their own lawyer had to run up to the microphone and answer some questions, And before this meeting was over, my phone was ringing from friends of lawyers and wanting to know what's wrong. And I think what would be appropriate for this group before they come up is to at least present to the three of us why those excessive costs, because, if you think about it, the county's not really on the hook, but it's still federal tax dollars.
It's, the taxpayers are on the hook.
Well, it's still federal tax dollars, and they're coming to us for, I think, a favor for tax exempt status, and I think they can at least give us the courtesy to educate us a little bit more on why those fees are that high. Is it really per unit cost, or is it moving people out of homes? I think we need a little bit more detail, I think, and I don't see anything wrong with why not share that with us, so I agree. Hopefully they're listening and they'll give us, I'm sure my phone might ring again from some friends of friends.
Call
of
me.
lawyers. Yeah, they should have called you. So, okay.
Anything
Anything else?
more
Jeff,
on
or
old
no?
business? No? Okay. Number 9, board business. Repeal Resolution 22-130 on February 16th of 22 and adopt Lorain County Board of Commissioners Personnel Policy Manual effective October 31st of 2025.
Should we,
I'd like to talk about this. I'd like to see if we could move this to the next board meeting. I had some questions on it, and I would like to review it a little bit more. I didn't have time to do it, and I would like to be able to review it and then present it back. If the boards would do that, I'd like the motion to move it.
Well, you don't have to make a motion. I think we just want to put it on hold. Is that
Yeah,
okay?
hold it till the next meeting.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay with that if you are.
I'm agreed.
Thank you.
So the October 7th meeting,
October,
7th or 10th?
I think 7th would be fine. We'll be
Okay.
ready, right? Marty,
fine.
you're the
Yep.
one researching it.
Yep.
So,
Number 10, approve change order number 2 in the amount of $227,433 to Williams Brothers Builders, Inc. for additional work for the 4th floor interior alterations project. This change order includes interior demolition, office renovation, and modifying and reworking existing HVAC and electrical and lighting power, and this will be paid out of the capital improvements account.
So moved?
Second?
Discussion.
Yes, I'd like to address this for those that are watching, and that is this is the next piece. The commissioners are leading the way for the departments. We're trying to get rid of excessive space, condense operations, improve efficiencies with the way that our staff works together. And this is the second. There'll be a small third phase, but we will be collecting people from several floors and restructuring the space on the 4th floor here so that all of our direct employees are here and working together, able to communicate easily with each other, able to look across the room and see when somebody's here or not here. And this money was budgeted. It's not going over budget, but again, it's the commissioners leading the way for the other electeds to looking at streamlining operations, and that doesn't just mean looking at staff levels. It also means looking at operational efficiencies and spacing. So we're doing that, and hopefully by the end of this year, when you come back from the holidays, you can visit the commissioner's offices and see the entire commissioner's office working to better things for the taxpayers.
So has everything been reviewed by the county prosecutor's office so that we can move forward with this resolution today?
Yes, Commissioner, it has been reviewed by the prosecutor's office. They did their due diligence to take a look at the expense to make sure that we were able to legally approve a change order.
So we did get the okay from our attorneys?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Is there anything further?
Nope.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Under Community Development, 11, authorize County Commissioners Lorain County to issue notification of the creation of the tax increment financing TIF district to be known as Beaver Creek Incentive District located in Eaton Township and the respective township trustees, Board of Education in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 5709.78.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Job and Family Services 12, authorized purchase service agreement between JFS and Lorain County General Health, Elyria, in the amount of $12,600 for the protective services for adults. This is effective October 1st of 25 through September 30th of 26 and will be paid from the Title 20 and Social Service Block Grant account.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion.
See, our director's here if he wants to comment or not, I don't know.
Yeah, good morning, Commissioners. Sorry.
Did you have one?
I'll
You have 4 items here, so I didn't know.
Sorry about that. Chris Cabot, Director of Job and Family Services. I do have, again, 4 contracts on the agenda today. I appreciate the time. If you want, I can go over each of them individually or talk about each of them in one group.
Why don't you run through them and
Okay.
then,
So again, you guys are probably getting sick of me being here, and I'm sorry, but I just think it's really important for us to illustrate and talk about all of the great work and funding that's going into our health and human services in Lorain County, and so that's why I want to make sure I'm here and talk about these things. The first one that we are talking about is the Lorain County General Health for Adult Protective Services. As we all know, the population is growing. Medical advances and things are helping people live longer into life. This contract is to provide nursing services for our adults in their home, to check vital signs, to treat wounds, and to make connections with our adults who don't obviously have a lot of connections all the time. So that's the first one. The second one is number 13. This is for an agreement with Lorain County Public Health. The Lorain County Public Health contract is a coordination of supportive services for our families program, and this is really focusing on pregnant mothers and mothers who recently gave birth to ensure that mothers and children are in the best possible health, and when the mother gives birth, have safe pregnancies, treat and address substance abuse issues with pregnant mothers so that the kids are born into the best possible situations. It's a really beneficial program. It keeps families from having to work with children and family services, kids potentially coming into care, or if the family's already involved with children's services, sometimes children's services will refer the family for this service and help with the reunification process. So it's really just providing early support for families during pregnancy and after birth. So it's most recently in the last year, there's been 130 families that have been that had positive impact by this service. The third one on the agenda today is an agreement with United Way for financial support for families facing eviction, potential utilities being cut off, or setting up utilities and finding housing. We have a great need of people that are in need of support, especially with these economic times. Some families are finding themselves in trouble. This really helps them to maintain housing, maintain a safe environment for their families, and maintain utilities while we help them get back on their feet financially. And then the final one is for the Educational Service Center of Lorain County. This is for social workers in the Lorain County schools. This is a larger contract, but so very important. This focuses on providing social workers in Lorain County schools for services to low-income children. The focus is on wellness and prevention. Some of the major outcomes of this program are a decrease in child abuse and neglect, and prevention of child and family services being involved, a decrease in suicide risk. Over the past contract, 254 youth were screened for potential suicide risk. A reduction in childhood hunger because they provide mobile food pantries and food to families in need. They'll even deliver food to the home. and they actually do food pantries over the summer, so it's not just during the school year. Improve mental health outcomes, increased employability skills for our youth, higher academic achievement. And then a major component of this is professional development for our educators, counselors, school psychologists, and those that have daily contact with youth that are in need. They have 130 trainings over the past year, where 3,544 professionals were able to receive training. Over the past school year, also 924 referrals for youth in this program were made. So all very important, and all, again, just talking about and illustrating the richness of the Health and Human Services in our county. Thank you.
Anything further on number 12?
Might as well hang on to it. Nope.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
13, authorize sub-grant agreement between JFS and Public Health, Elyria, to provide a coordination of supportive services for families program in the amount of $100,000. This is effective October 1st, 25 through September 30th, 26, and will be paid from the TANF account.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
14, authorize sub-grant agreement between JFS and United Way to Greater Lorain County, Lorain, in the amount of $315,000 for providing financial support to TANF-eligible households for the purpose of preventing eviction and utility disconnection, and to assist TANF-eligible homeless households with establishing housing and utility services. This is effective October 1st, 25 through September 30th, 26, and will be paid from the TANF account.
So moved.
Second?
Yes.
Discussion.
You want to go
No,
first?
go ahead.
Chris, can you tell me, what role does the United Way play in the process of getting money for utilities and rent support to people that need it? How's
So
that process work?
we provide them with the funding that is here through the TANF funds. They are, I think I talked about a little bit last time about the 211 and some other, so families in need are referred to them. They do a study to find out what kind of needs the family has, and they provide the funding. Before I became director, this was something years ago that was done in-house. We decided that years ago, I think, during one of the economic downturns, we contracted this out. They charge us a 5% administrative fee to do these, to handle these contracts, which is part of that funding. Doesn't come out of our own money. So they manage this. They do a really nice job. Everyone is aware of United Way. We meet with them on a regular basis to get updates, and it helps us to utilize our staff for the things that are really focused on with public assistance and child support. So it helps us with our time at Job and Family Services by having them manage this contract.
I assume they administer it to the criteria that you would if you were doing it yourself?
Yes. Yeah.
So basically, it's about $300,000 if you take the 5% roughly. So that's $300,000 that goes to United Way, correct?
Yes.
So that's TANF dollars that are going.
Yes.
Because usually Job and Family Services has all the list of everybody that's currently on. I mean, you guys usually have a list of families that are in need. What I'm wondering is how do, with the property taxes that increase, we have seniors that are struggling right now just to make ends meet, and utilities is one of them. How do people that are not accustomed to this type of benefit can benefit? Do they have to call United Way? They don't call you guys, they call United Way to get the benefit of utilities and or evictions from happening, or is it both? I mean, if they are a homeowner and they're having troubles making ends
Yeah.
meet, does a homeowner who probably qualifies economically because it's probably paid for,
Yeah.
would they? But they might not be on your
Like I
list
said,
if you know.
Yeah, there's different avenues that they can use to reach the United Way. And it's, again, like I said, it could be 211, it could be through a conversation with one of our staff. It could be a conversation with a children's services staff that are aware of this, ability that United Way has to provide assistance with that. So for example, I'm just pulling this out, but if Children's Services had a child that was in risk of coming into care because the family's going to lose housing or utilities, they might reach out to United Way and have them support that family to provide that while we.
I know, but that's the system helping the system. I'm trying to figure out, we have a newsletter that goes out and educates the public, and more people appreciate it because they don't realize as a
Yeah.
county what we offer to those that are in need. And there's a lot of people that probably didn't need anything their whole lives, but now they do. So
Yeah.
I didn't know, is that something you could write something for our newsletter to educate people on, if you have issues here, let's just say, you've contracted with
Yeah.
United Way and give them a number which is 211,
For sure.
I mean, is that something you think would be beneficial for our
Absolutely,
community?
it's already in the works because we are at Job and Family Services already discussing plans for a community forum where we can make sure that we provide an opportunity for everyone to learn about what services are out there, specifically, obviously, what we provide, but what else is out there for them. That's already in the works. So we'll be hearing more about that in the very near future.
Because I know that since, when Jeff came on board, that's one of the things he instituted, and we wanted to educate the public, and it's been a huge success. It's one of those things where we keep hearing, we didn't know. And people are always, a lot of pride is in the way too, though,
Yeah.
for help. And so if we can continually educate the public and let those that are in need, I
And
think
it's also amazing how fast word spreads. So once you help a few people, and
Yep.
then yeah,
Especially-
I was in the meeting, we were just talking about that in another avenue. But when you have a successful program and it helps people out, and the word spreads, and again, there's criteria that need to be met, so it's not just everybody, but the people that are truly in need will typically learn about it eventually.
Well, when, whatever it's called, the man-made flu bug, whatever you want to call it, they gave this county a lot of money for this type of program, over $17 million. And we got it out we got it out. And I think, in 2 years? I think you had to get it out in 2 years or you would lose it. So I'm looking at what happened there and how many people benefited on getting their utilities paid, the eviction stop. $300,000 doesn't sound like a lot of money. So is this all the money that we got? Or is there other programs that United Way helps that you can, or this is it?
No, United Way has a plethora of services that they
Okay.
provide. I can't sit here and speak about all of them right now, but this is
Okay,
just
so
one.
there's more than one.
Yeah.
And I think that would be nice that we could probably at least educate the public on, hey, you may at least call and check it out. And maybe like you said, with these forums you're creating, and I think the more we educate and what services that are here, you pay taxes, you might as well get some benefits, right?
Yes.
So,
For sure.
well, I do appreciate you coming in like this and helping, so. That's it for me.
Anything further on 14? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
15, authorized purchase service agreement between JFS and Educational Service Center of Lorain County, Elyria, in the amount of $750,000 for social workers at Lorain County Schools for services to low-income children. This is effective October 1st of 25 through September 30th of 26, and will be paid from the TANF account.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Stormwater Management, 16, award contract to Garza Dirt Works LLC, Clyde, in the amount of not to exceed $759,000 for LaGrange Township Foster Ditch Restoration, which includes a contingency for any unforeseen change orders. 3 bids were received, this being the most responsive complying with specifications, and will be paid from the stormwater account.
Did we want to put that up?
I'm sorry, yes, I had it right here.
Okay.
So moved.
Second,
Discussion.
we finally got a ditch through the process. So I don't know who we owe the thank you to, the judges, the prosecutor's office, or our Lord the Father, but thank you.
The latter. Okay.
Anything further? Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Number 17, Children's Services, authorize and rescind various personnel at Children's Services to utilize the agency's MasterCard for the year 25, not to exceed 2,500, in accordance with the ORC and their permissible policy.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Sheriff, 18, approve and enter in a First Amendment to the consulting agreement with Norms Hills Consulting Services LLC for the jail project. This amendment is the monthly payment change from $12,500 per month to $9,500 per month, effective retroactive to August 1st of 25, and will be paid from the jail consultant services account.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
Yes, Mr. Hills and his team have been with us since the very beginning of the conversations on the jail. Want to reiterate that we do not yet have the funding worked out yet for the jail, but at the end of the day, we're proceeding because we do have funds that we could make available to do design and engineering. The Hills Group is representing the commissioners and our taxpayers, and their job is to make sure that the engineer and the architect that are working on the project, that as they go through their design phase, that we don't create our own handicaps by doing things that require extra staff persons, which is one of the handicaps that we live with in our current jail, is that we've had to solve many design deficiencies with staff. And while that's good for the staff, it provides some undue burden on the payroll. And so if we're going to spend the money for a new jail, we want to make sure we can operate it as efficiently as possible. And the Hills Group is eminently successful in that regard.
Yep, in fact, we hired him before either one of you were here. And
Correct.
Matt Lundy was very hesitant, thinking, so he checked him out with his Columbus connections and said, he is a premier guy statewide. Doesn't matter what political party you're from, the guy knows what he's doing. So it was really a bipartisan effort to bring him on board, but I didn't, I felt the fees were a little bit higher. I asked if he could reduce them because it was, we're still in a holding pattern. I know our county administrator is going to be going and checking out some more facilities, and I think we're getting close, so I appreciate the fact that they have reduced their fees in this time, but they're going to earn it.
Right. We're in the design phase, and hopefully, as we can figure out the funding mechanism for this, that we won't have to wait to do that and then design the jail. But if we get the funding figured out, we can put a shovel in the ground and get going for one of the biggest cans that's been kicked down the road for the longest amount of time.
Even before I was here. I'm talking about 2000.
Our jail is definitely in horrific shape.
Yeah, but you gotta trust the guy managing it to move forward, and I think we do now.
Yep.
Anything further?
That's it.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Dow?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
County Administrator's update.
Wow, she took that title right over. Sorry, Jeff.
Sorry, Jeff.
We already talked about it.
So we did have an opportunity to meet with our consultant, CMT Crawford Murphy and Tilly, that's doing the master plan update for the Lorain County Regional Airport. And it was good to know that we are on schedule, and we still do anticipate having a completed report to turn over to the FAA by the end of the year. There is a bit of a waiting period after we do turn it over to FAA for them to do the final approval. So we're nearing the end of a long process.
Yes, but, okay, we had this discussion, because I was involved in the meeting. This goes back to 1963. The way airports operate is the master plan.
Correct.
Yeah, we might say we want to do this, this, and this. If it's not in the master plan,
You can't do
you
it.
can't
Well,
do it. Well, you can do it, but
you can
good
do it,
luck.
but the Fed won't
Yeah,
fund
the
it.
feds aren't going to fund it. So I said this too. I says, well, great, because probably in about 15 years, with the work we're doing today, is going to be extremely beneficial for those 15 years from now when things start to really rock out there. So
Right, absolutely. So
Yeah.
the plan has us set up to be able to do capital improvements at the airport to support any economic development booms that we're going to have on the western side of Lorain County. So, it's a 20-year plan.
yep, it's a 20-year too, which is,
Yeah, it's a good thing.
yeah.
So
Well, thank you. It was a good meeting.
it was a good meeting. Mr. Armbruster?
That kind of leads right into what the dirty term called megasite. And I spent this last weekend, a little story in Boise, Idaho, to see my son Will, who had moved there with his new bride, or almost new bride. And I was amazed that Micron is in Boise, Idaho, building 2 or 3 more facilities to build chips. And then going down the valley in between the mountains, and you come into Caldwell, and you look at the size and look at what's happening to Boise, and they have plenty of water out there, which I was amazed at, because it's all coming from the mountains and the snowmelt and springs. And as they developed, and the wastewater treatment plants that they had developed to really bring the community together. Of course, Idahoans, I guess that you call them, maybe some of them that don't want this growth, but it's happening anyway. So they're trying to manage it appropriately. And you come up with a name as to, the name the megasite didn't come from us. It came from the state of Ohio. But if you really look at what the New Russia Township did, and the effort first place, the effort that it took to get the airport out there, which I certainly was not part of, but some of the people in this room, including Karen and Don Romancic, were part of that process. And getting the airport and having one of 1,000 acres, when you stop to think about it, that the long-range view of the people that put that together over the years to make that an opportunity for us in 2025 and beyond to help develop that area. When you take that, and then you look at the other land that we have got LOIs on out there with the process, that it's really not a mega site. It's actually a site that we should be proud of, and maybe we could rename it, and I can't do this, or Karen can't do this, but we could call it an advanced manufacturing campus. Because if you look at what New Russia zoned it, and the permitted uses within that zoning code that they've got, it really lends itself to advanced manufacturing. We're not talking about, and a campus means there could be multiple, to Commission's Moore's point, multiple businesses out there, not necessarily an Intel or a Micron or a chip manufacturer of some other sorts, but the advanced manufacturing and the support beyond the Micron plant that they've got in Boise. They're just manufacturing that is happening out in that valley is just phenomenal. The new buildings that they got, and the shipping warehouses, and the different things that they've got. That's what we totally in this county. It gives us that opportunity, a place for our kids to actually work and to grow up, go to college. And even if they don't go to college, to learn that skill set, to keep all of the workers that we've got in the unions and everybody else working hard to develop this county as to what it is. So advanced manufacturing campus, if we could memorialize something like that, that makes sense.
We just have to use it all the time now, that's all.
We will do that, if that's okay with the other two that are up here, if we call it that way.
Call it what you want, just bring them here, okay?
No, all right, advanced manufacturing campuses, we're not going to call it the mega site anymore. We'll change all that stuff.
We could call Jeff Armbruster Business Park for all I care, as long as they're here.
How about Jeff and Karen?
But it's no longer the mega site. That leads me right into the 6119, and there's been a lot of conversation on the 6119, and there's a lot of things I can say that I would like to say that I can't say, just based on the information that's out there, and we're trying to make things work. But this didn't just start in 2020, 3 years ago. This started back in 2008 and 2009 with a whole 3-year study through 2012. That the concept was, how do we help the county grow outside of the incorporated areas into the unincorporated areas, and how do we make that work for everyone? Because the townships don't want to get gobbled up by cities. The cities not necessarily want to gobble up the townships. But one thing in common, we have to have water, drinking water, and water to wash our clothes. And we also have to have water to flush our toilets and to make sure the waste goes there, and where it goes, that it's treated appropriately. So it made all the sense in the world back in 2008 and 2009 through 2012 at the Lorain Community College that we joined together as a group of, back then, I suppose there was probably 200,000 plus residents, to join our forces where there was a common rate to get rid of your waste, rather than, oh, I've got my wastewater treatment plant here, and I'm going to charge you an exorbitant amount to go through that process. So that started in 2000, way back when. Move it up to 2025, and what we're trying to do as a county and an administration and county commissioners is bring the county together for this advanced manufacturing campus. Bring it all together. Ladies and gentlemen, we got almost $69 million with almost free money from the state of Ohio, and we are now recognized throughout the whole state, in the region, and the United States of America, maybe having one of the best sites for advanced manufacturing in the whole country. Let's not blow it. As we go through that, where there's trials and tribulations as to how we're going to get the waste and how we're going to help the townships. Well, the townships do need help. We're helping them in planning and land use. We're helping them in zoning. We're working with the townships to make this a formation of JEDs maybe that are out there that we need to do. Rather than annexation, let's look at JEDs. These are the kind of things that this team that sits with me, around me, and on the 5th floor, that we're all bringing down to the 4th floor to make us more efficient and effective. But that team and the township trustees and what we're trying to do, we're recognized. Lorain County is finally now getting things that we have never, ever been able to achieve, ever. Not to say that the people before us didn't try. We have a golden opportunity, and we're sitting on $68 million, plus the fact that we're sitting on the east side of pipes and an opportunity to grow together. I'm sure that we're going to be able to work this out, and with long term, by consolidating water sources and consolidating wastewater treatment, all of us can grow together, including the incorporated areas and in the unincorporated areas. And I lend itself that we're going to continue to push forward. We're going to continue to make the advanced manufacturing campus what it is, not just land, but what it is supposed to be, that campus, to give us those jobs and that opportunity to grow Lorain County. It's growing anyway. And what's happening? The farmers are selling off their frontage. Wouldn't it make sense that the whole field, and we don't just sell frontage, we don't keep just the backland? It makes a lot of sense to me that we grow appropriately with zoning and land use plans and grow with the communities that are already incorporated in Lorain County. I'm sorry about my rant, but that's where I am. But we've covered
That's a rant.
the advanced manufacturing campus.
He himself as the 4th commissioner.
He does, doesn't he?
That's all I can say.
I don't get the vote, but I can say a lot. How's that?
I find that hard to believe.
That completes my report.
Well, they used to call that smart growth. I mean, let's face it. Remember, it's a controlled smart growth, and we can do that with the 6119 and with what the west side we're working towards, and the let me get this right, and the advanced manufacturing campus. So the main thing is we are multitasking, and we are doing a lot, and your team's doing a fantastic job, and I appreciate it.
I would like to say this too, is that
You're done.
you go to the west side, if we go to the west side, which is different than the 6119,
Yeah.
where were we? When the $76 million came out from Vermillion,
Oh, yeah.
guess what? We got in our fire trucks and our ambulances, and we went out there to talk to them immediately. How can we help? That's where we should be in this Lorain County. How do we help our neighbor, regardless of their political party, regardless of where they are? How can we help you grow as a city? And as long as I'm here and Karen's here and you all are here and the staff is looking to do that, with Team NEO, Jobs Ohio, and everything else, we have that golden opportunity to help our neighbor grow just as we are in our own incorporated communities.
Yeah, well, that's
I
what
am
we did
done
today.
now.
Well, no, that's what we did today with the requisitions. We went to Brownhelm Township. In fact, you took a lot of heat, I think, or went, and we were going to the townships, and we're helping them with their zoning. We're helping, the prosecutor's office is helping with their zoning, and even today we voted to help them. Because of those partnerships, we're mitigating some of those costs for their planning. So these are the type of relationships that I think a lot of the townships didn't really get. In previous. So we're all working together, cities are working together, and I'm really excited about the partnerships that this board has formed.
I really love JEDs versus annexation, because it does, that's one of the heated topics with the townships. And you're spot on with it. The JEDs, could give them unfound money that they would not have normally gotten with an annexation versus a JED. So encouraging that, and proper planning is so important for the townships moving forward as well. You got to plan your development there so that you don't have something to complain about later.
So, I'd like to close with, there's an awful lot of talk about the townships because obviously that's the open spaces that are the most available for growth. But when you talk about the 6119, it's a master plan for the county. And one of the goals that I had when I came here was to kind of reduce the gift giving from the county to this group or this village or that township or this city, and try and make a more cohesive plan of how to spend the money based on how can we help the most people the best way. And the 6119 does that. And it's not a growth, it's not an expansion of county power. It's our helping the communities get together, take control of it, have an independent board that's away from politics, and handle the ability for us to grow without having to fund it. Because right now, one of the reasons growth is difficult to do is because the requirements are too onerous. They're too expensive for one small entity to handle. And when we talk about the 6119, we also have to remember that Vermillion is faced with $70-some million of upgrades necessary to their power or their sewage plant for 9,000 people. Pretty easy to do the math and find out that's just not going to work. And it's not just Vermillion. We have, I don't want to embarrass anybody, but we have one city sewage plant that's at capacity and couldn't take on growth. For that developer, he had to access Lorco, which gets it up to Avon Lake, as opposed to getting it where there was a closer sewage plant, had no capacity, and faced millions and millions of dollars to increase capacity. We have another city in Lorain County that's operating under an MOU. They've made some promises to the EPA to fix some things. They haven't done that. They haven't started. And at the end of the day, they would likely be the next candidate that looks like Vermillion. So this is the 6119 is the countywide. And the EPA is willing to provide us a lot of help and a lot of funding, as well as Public Works, Ohio Public Works, because they want to reduce the outflow from 5 or 6 inefficient, semi-inefficient plants into Lake Erie and reduce it to 2 that are more economical, will actually lower sewage rates for people in Lorain County, because there is economies of scale to the, 2 big plants are cheaper to run than 6 or 7 small plants. And so as a segue into that, why that is important and why the EPA is driving it, Don, you want to speak to to the recent communication we got from the EPA.
Thank you, Commissioners. On behalf of the board, I do serve as the chair to the Black River Advisory Committee, and for the past 30 years, Dave, when you first came on,
25 now.
there's been a lot of activity focused on the Black River to basically clean it up. When I first came to Lorain County in the late 90s, there was an advisory, don't touch the water. Since that time, the federal government, the state government, local governments, and individual corporations have invested a lot of time, effort, and money to begin to cut off the sources of pollution and to get the sediments out. And as we've cleaned up the water, we have been able to host kayakathons originally just to get people used to the idea of touching the water. We've had walleye and bass tournaments now that are actually pumping dollars back into the economy. And we've seen downtown Lorain and Elyria through their investments in metro parks green it up and bring people back to the water. We are a waterfront community. When I first came to the city of Lorain, never saw the water, couldn't see it, was blocked by taconite and railroad. But what has happened with all of that is we have made steady progress, and last week, Ohio EPA recognized that progress again, removing 2 more beneficial use impairments, which is government speak for things are bad. And we have eliminated, we have shown improvement to the wildlife, fish and wildlife habitat. So we've got places, again, for the fish to live and for fishermen to go and actually catch the fish. And previously, we had removed the restriction on eating the fish, so that's progress too. But we had the habitat and then also the species. So the number of fish and the types of fish have come back. So we have begun to make real progress. We are down to 1 impairment that is left. We are working hard with Ohio EPA, the Lake Erie Commission, and if we can get that one removed, we can then apply to actually have the Black River delisted as an area of concern. So we would no longer be singled out as a polluted river, but we'd be like any other river. Across the Rocky, the Vermilion, other rivers that don't have that industrial legacy. And the Black River yet can still support industry. It still supports the traditional economic development as well as now it's able to support that ecotourism and really has brought people to it. So I want to thank you and all of the people over the years that have been working to this point, and just know we've got a little bit more of a push, and hopefully next year we can remove that last BUI, which is benthos. That's the hardest one, and that's a fancy term for bugs and critters that live in the mud at the bottom that the fish like to eat. And then once we get that done, we can officially go for the delisting, and EPA, both federal, state, as well as our committee, are hopeful we can do that in 2028 and throw one heck of a party on the water. So thank you very much, Commissioners, for being able to share that information.
Terrific, terrific news.
So it segues into one more thing. If we allow the county and the farmers, and which we will allow because it's their right to do so, to just develop their front land that they've got, sell it off and farm the backside, what that's going to do to the environment out there is going to be just have a negative effect, because those septic systems and those package plants that are out there that are going to be put in are certainly not as efficient as a reclamation center that actually maybe years from down the road, and I'll say it now, you might be drinking that same water because you purify it and send it back and drink it, or put it back in Lake Erie. That's what it's back, and then we clean it up and bring it back to us. It just makes so much sense that we work together in this process. No one wants to control it. Jeff, you said it eloquently. It's a board outside of the county commissioners, outside of cities' control, and the board is there to give fairness to everyone and give the environment relief. That's what it's all about.
Amen.
You all done?
It's the end of your report.
Again,
Send
that
my
That we,
completes our report.
for once, I stole part of your time.
Just as a reminder, next Tuesday, 9:30, we'll have an investment advisor meeting, and then at 4:30, we'll have a commissioners meeting in regards to the Mason Lateral number 1 main ditch hearing. Or,
You're saying 30 minutes, right? That's what you're thinking?
The odds are.
You always have little bets back here. I've been wrong so many times.
I can't believe, I mean, it's only 7 property owners, and we have all the easements, correct, Don?
You do?
Yep.
Okay.
So-
Is there any pushback from any of the owners or anybody, the 7?
No, the only thing that's unique about this is one of the property owners is gonna do the improvement himself on his
Oh.
property.
Okay. Right, and you're using the, because I think it works pretty good when the township trustees are actually working with you and
Yes.
talking to the people, and it seems you've seen a much smoother process now, haven't you? with
It
that?
has,
Yeah.
LaGrange Township and actually Penfield, because this is right on the border, have both been very active.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's key, I think, so.
Board correspondence.
Yes, I'd like to make one comment. I received an email this week from one of our most avid followers and likes to point out all the things we do poorly. But one of the things was to read all of the board correspondence at the meetings. So I'd like to preface this, we're soon going to take a vote, and I'm sure we will pass to waive the reading of the board correspondence. And the reason we do that is we don't want to take up staff and resources for an hour to read all of the correspondence, if we could get it done in that time. However,
it'd be
in the
longer.
interest of transparency, anything that is mailed to the clerk for the attention of the commissioners is listed in the board correspondence, and you can go to the website, and if you want to see who's mailing us and for what, it is all right there.
Correct.
I move to waive the reading of the board correspondence.
I will second that.
Any further discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
All right.
New business.
We do have one item of new business. We've been closing out the 2023 CBDG grant. I'm trying to help Marty say that well, and in the process, I've regressed on saying that well. But, and the Lead Safe program, and which has been, it's been under budget pressures in Washington, which both of these programs receive funding from Washington through the state of Ohio to us. So it's up to us to administer them. And we had a project on the list on Tuesday for which we had some questions. And we had pulled it from the agenda. It didn't appear to the public, so it fits under new business. But this will close out our 2023 CBDG grant. And there are some issues with it that we'd like to change, but they're not issues with this particular family that's in this home. It's with the process itself that became apparent as we did this. So we're going to be putting that back on. You want to put it on the screen?
The bids.
Well, I'd like to add to that. It was brought to our attention, and digging into it, I had contacted our legislature about looking into the program, because this particular incident is the third time a landlord produced, which is totally compliant with all the regulations, produced a job on behalf, or the tenants did it on behalf of the landlord. And I look at it as, you know what, if I'm a landlord of property, which I am, it's my obligation to make sure I would have proper housing for my tenants if it, the lead safe stuff. But we also don't want people living in that property young children that could possibly take, and eat the lead or, ingest the lead in some way or form to harm them. So in a case like this, it does help, but I think in the capitalist world of being a landlord, you have a responsibility for, some of the expense, if not all of it, because you're capitalizing on the project. So I support the program, but there's got to be some oversight on this. 3 projects, we had 400 people come to the table wanting projects done, and I think it should be homeowners first, and landlords, maybe another program there to help them mitigate these issues in these properties. So I did contact our legislature. They are going to work on it as an oversight thing. We need to close this out. Unfortunately, if this doesn't pass, this money goes back and it does stop this project. So I normally wouldn't support this if it was early on, because I just have a hardcore feeling about, how the money should be spent and how wise we should be with government money. But in this case, I will be promoting this to be done. And I've been working with Garvin and Dave Greenspan over this ad nauseum. They know that I'm watching it, and they're helping too. So great progress in the department, and that's my take on it. So just want to make it clear, and thanks to those who tipped me off on it.
You want to read the resolution?
Sure. In the matter of awarding contract for William Farley, owner, and Tabitha Betlisky, tenant at 623 East Avenue, Elyria, to receive grant assistance from Program Year 23 LSO program, which includes a contingency for any unforeseen change orders to GemMet Construction Lorain. The total amount is $74,376.50, which will be paid from the LSO account, and 3 bidders were received.
And you see the 3 bidders ahead of you, so again, we've made some great strides in this, but our issues, just to summarize what Commissioner Gallagher said, as we dig into some of these things, how do you put it, the fixing of the problem has consequences, and in this case, the consequences would be borne by one family, and it's a Lorain County family that needs this work done. And so I think all of us, all the commissioners, as well as the staff at Community Development, we have made a commitment to revisit this program before, as we apply for the next grant, and look for ways to make this fit our needs better here in Lorain County. So kudos to everybody for doing that, and hopefully we can find a way to make this more productive in Lorain County without breaking the rules for which we have to follow to get the money in the first place. So,
I'll make a motion, or I'll move to approve.
second?
Discussion.
Yes. Yeah, I guess the short answer here is what Commissioner Gallagher found out, that we had over 400 people apply, and it seems that one landlord benefited with 3 of these programs. So that's such a short story. And
You don't
so
need to say
hopefully,
anymore.
I'm just trying to go down to
Can't
Dave.
fault them, though.
I know, I'm trying to get to, oh no, I'm not faulting
Can't fault
him.
'em.
Heck, yeah. I'm trying to get down to my level though, Dave speak, so. But I guess what we're gonna be doing then, my understanding is that we'll be implementing some policy changes to make sure we can, when you have that many people, because I know you came to us and said, look, we're gonna have to give this money back. Next thing you know, we get hit with a ton of applications. So, the county will be, our departments are gonna be working on how to be fair, how to be equitable. And, we want to get this money back into our community, and it's not general fund money, it's state money. And we want to make sure that we have a very strong system to be fair and equitable to those people that are homeowners and that have these needs. So, thank you.
And most of that has to do not with our staff, most of it has to do with the consultant and the processes that they utilize that we learned about, that we need to discuss with them to modify. They were processes that are easy for the consultant, but maybe not most beneficial for the taxpayers.
Yep.
And the reason why this one is critical is it takes months to get somebody through the process, to get approved. And if we said we're going to go to the next one in the list, what happens is it's going to probably set us beyond the deadline, and then the money gets returned. So unfortunately, it's kind of a bad situation right now.
Well, that's the work that our board and our team's putting
Yep.
together is policies and procedures that can outlast us. So hopefully the efficiencies that we're looking at, the changes that we're making, can carry on for another generation of elected officials, you know.
Yes. Dave, Garvin, anything you'd like to add?
Thank you, Commissioners, for hearing this under new business, so we can help this Lorain County family who's a tenant in this landlord-tenant relationship to live in a lead-free environment. It's critical, and as you said, Commissioner Gallagher, you hit it right on the head. These processes for an application to be vetted takes anywhere between 4 to 5, maybe 6 months. By the time the application's received, the applicant is financially qualified through Kleinfelter, through our consultant, through the pre-construction meetings that take place in order to determine the work that needs to be done, and then the process itself, from the time the walkthrough is scheduled till it appears to you, could be anywhere up to 65 to 75 days. So thank you for recognizing that time period. We are aware of your concerns, and we'll now be looking forward to being more cognizant of the qualifications for applicants for these programs. So thank you for your guidance on that.
You're welcome. You said?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something.
No,
Anything
I'm
further? Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher,
Aye.
Commissioner Redell.
Aye.
Oh. Is there any other new business? No?
Nope.
Public comment?
Public comment. Mr. Zimmerman.
Brian's coming up.
Good morning, William Zimmerman.
morning.
Morning.
I'm a concerned citizen from Avon Lake. Speaking of concerned citizens, we have a show in Avon Lake on the Avon Lake City TV program. And I would advise or recommend that you all watch an episode that we did on the 6119 recently. And the citizens of Avon Lake have been subsidizing Lorco for over 2 decades. We've been acting as their bank, lending them money, lending them, I guess, the usage of our stuff. And from our standpoint, why would we want to give that away? I've lived there for 65 years. There's no reason that I can find that I would want to give it away. Now, all of you have been business owners, I understand. And earlier on, I love the fact that the Commissioner Gallagher mentioned costs and was trying to be fiscally responsible. Well, Avon Lake Regional Water has been the finance company for local. And so they have loans that are now running through until 2044. It's a long time. I expect I'll be dead before we get to those. But my main concern at this point is that $14 million of debt that we carry in Avon Lake for Lorco. And if this does that, whoever keeps talking over here, I'd appreciate it if they stopped. That debt is going to carry on, and we're never going to see it if this 6119 goes through. And all of you being business owners, as I said, would that be the way you would run your company? To forgive the money? $14 million is an awful large amount. There's no way the citizens of Avon Lake should be taken advantage of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I have something I'd like to give you. I have made a public records request from Avon Lake Regional Water, and they were kind enough to provide me with some transparency. Not like our mayor in the city of Avon Lake, but so that you could have all kinds of additional information, numbers that would be responsive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I'm at the podium.
Jeff, I'll see to it you get this information. Okay, Brian? I can always tell when you're ready because you move up to the second row.
I've been coming here for 3 years, so I guess I get it. So Brian Baker, 49822 Greystone Drive, Brownhill Township. So just a couple of points, and I knew I was gonna run out of time in the first one, but I wanted to talk about the healthcare. But Commissioner Moore and Commissioner Gallo, you guys talked about using local people on the project over at Wilkes Villa. We are in the process. There was executive order out that came out of federal dollars in it, over 35 million. There is a piece in there that says you can use a community workforce agreement or a PLA. Chuck Brookie and we are working to see if we can find that information that would tie it back, that you would have to use local people on those projects. They're just checking to make sure the language wasn't altered when the new administration came in. So it's a project labor agreement or community workforce agreement, says you have to hire within it. So there is a piece on federal dollars that was put in place that you might be able to use that. So if we can find that information, we would forward it to you. I know Chuck's working on it.
Was that the 2016 agreement that they did that in 2016?
Yeah, but they didn't resend all of the ones, so there's still one out there, but it's got the federal dollars. So you can require it. It's not you guys requiring it, but it'll be the federal could require it. We just have to figure out the process of maybe getting to that point. So if we get that, we will bring that to you.
Okay.
The second one is, I did look at item 18. Is that coming out of the restricted fund? Is that the jail the restricted fund, the 20 million that was put in? Is that where we're paying that out of? Because it's down to about, what, 18 million now, right around there? I'm gonna guess around that. So we've been using that, correct, to use that for there. Okay, thank you. My last one is, we're getting pretty close to October 1st. And you guys know I've been here, I've talked about the Midway Mall. Are we about ready to get our money back on the Midway Mall? October 1st is when I was told by 2 of the commissioners up here that we were gonna have an announcement. So I hope that we'll at least get our $13.9 million back, and I would hope that we at least get our $1 million in interest back. So I come up, and I will be here in October, and hopefully when I come, there will be a great article in the paper that said it's sold, and we got all our money. I would hope that would happen, because I think this will be the 4th time we've been told it's gonna been sold, and we were gonna get our money. So I just bring that to your attention so that maybe it'll be on the agenda next time, we can at least get an update of where our money is. Thank you for your time, and have a good weekend, okay?
You too.
You too.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay. There being no further business before the board, this meeting is adjourned.
Have a good weekend, and looking forward to October 7th.